Hi stargazers, I hope you're safe and well right now. It's June the 14th and I felt I needed to come to you with a quick update on the video you're about to see. It's Donald Trump's birthday amongst others. I recorded the Gemini video 10 days ago, and in it I did speak of the themes of duality, conflict, and the other Gemini themes. I did warn that we would need to summon all of the mental might and discernment of thrice great Hermes to separate fact from fiction and get through this cataclysmic Gemini season. However, even I underestimated the extent and the extremes to which life would imitate astrology. Um, I would just like to encourage you all to think critically, read between the lines, and don't forget to look up rather than fighting each other. I think we really should take a look at exactly what the cause is of all of this. So without further ado, welcome to Gemini season. Hold on to your hat, brace yourself, and stay ready. Welcome to Gemini season 2020. Wow. The season of the twins began early this year on May 19th at 10 to 4 British summertime and was activated on May 22nd. I'm late with this video as usual, this time delayed by my own birthday, which was May the 29th, that I share with JFK, Laverne Cox, Scary Spice and others. And I want to thank you all for remembering me on my birthday during such a time. I anticipated in Facebook that we would move on from the focus on the Taurian body issues, to chip or not to chip, etc. And of course move into the Gemini themes. I anticipated war of words, war on your words, censorship versus critical thinking, freedom of speech, freedom of movement issues. But I wasn't expecting it, although I should have, to be quite so dramatic in its expression of the Gemini archetype. I mean, life imitating zodiac, or some might argue life being planned to correspond and correlate with the zodiacal clock in the sky. But before we go any further, I'd like to offer my support and sympathies to my friends across the Atlantic who have been affected by this mercurial mayhem. Yes, well as the twin city becoming ground zero for insurrection out of hand, we had the other Gemini themes I was expecting, and since I turned 55
3 days ago. I will actually look at my notes, and I think you'll forgive me. Yeah, we had the themes of movement versus mobility mandates, lock-up learning, COVID kids, webinars versus walkabout, credible critics versus controlled opposition, and talk of tracing, tracking, and tattoos. With the three of the major players, that is Trump, Boris Johnson, and Xi Jinping, all born under the sign of the twins. Yes, they are all Geminis. Trump was born on June the 14th, Boris on June the 19th, and Xi on June the 15th. What a coincidence. Yeah. We do tend to find that the rulers of this world do like to line everything up according to the stereotypes that are sold to we, the masses. So the spokespeople, the mouthpieces, the spin kings, Geminis for this transitional time. Yep. And of course, Bill gets to be the Scorpio. No, we'll get to that. But yes, with those three at the helm, yeah, it was gonna be, yeah, now escalate to a cold war of words and that battle for commercial and communications. Yeah, we won't mention the G. Yes, with those three Geminis, when good Gemini goes bad. Yes, I expected Gilead level gaslighting and Matrix style mind games. I expected it to be a real task this season to separate fact from fiction, to activate critical thinking. Yeah, as we we moved beyond the basic body issues to chip or not to chip, to vac or not to vac, into the province of learning and discerning, yeah, what was really going down, what was the plan, yeah. But I wasn't expecting the Gemini archetype to be played out quite so dramatically, and the issues of freedom of speech and movement to escalate, although I should have, to escalate to this fever pitch. Once again, my thoughts are with you across the pond. For a man who was described by his friend Stephen as his twin to lose his life in such an explicit way that was broadcast worldwide, and for it to trigger insurrection around the world, yeah, with worldwide media coverage, yeah, was it was a surprise in its intensity. But I will reserve my opinion of this whole issue and the twinning issues around it for Dark Star. So if you would like to know my opinion and get the astrological edge, please feel free to join me in Dark Star, and I will go like Alice all the way down. the rabbit hole. Let's just say that with this amazing, unprecedented lineup of heavyweights, note Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, I think Venus, and Venus, and from June the 23rd, Neptune, all retrograde, moving backwards. This is a moment when the brakes are being put on the push for the technocracy, and we are being given an opportunity to read the small print of this fourth industrial revolution that we are hurtling towards. And I think we're going to need to put our heads together, and summon all the crafty mental dexterity of thrice great Hermes to stave off the threat of silencing societal and cerebral shutdown or lockup and assimilation into the Borg for generations to come. But I'll leave that there and stop speaking on Facebook. Right, well, the show must go on. So, again, when you get the chance to see this, I'm sure we've all got more pressing priorities, but should you get a chance to see this, let's get into the psychology of Gemini. Gemini is the evergreen toddler of the zodiac, our very first encounter with the element of air, and we filter our experiences and the world via our reason, intellect. We're compelled to share our thoughts and findings with everyone, whether it's sung, written, spoken, or communicated via music and imagery. Whichever way, we've got to share the information. Now, I really need my notes for this one. Yes. Gemini's reputation for duplicity, flighty, two-faced moodiness, shallow unreliability belies the genuine multifaceted complexity of the sign. I would say that. And the playful, multidimensional spirit that bestows immense imagination and creativity. We need the magnificent mind, rationality, childlike, objective wonder, and youthful courage to reconcile opposites, embrace paradox, and elevate humanity from our more instinctual impulses toward insight and achievement. The Gemini shadow is, of course, a well-publicized and famous one. That issue of good twin, bad twin is right there on Front Street. So it's not much of a shadow because everyone can see it, and Gemini can usually feel it. A lot more than most signs. Yes, we have to, like Pollux and Castor, we have to reconcile, and in doing so, show everyone else how to reconcile opposites, and life on Earth in mundane reality versus life in the imagination, life in the mind where anything is possible. So, and I don't need to get into becoming. We all know that Gemini is a work in progress for sure, and that it's going to take a lifetime to mature into the sign, if ever. I mean, maybe that's the point, that we don't ever really mature into it and stop being the eternal, effervescent at times, sometimes melancholy youth, spirit of youth. So let's celebrate. I don't want to blow my own trumpet. Let's celebrate the multifaceted, clever, communicative and charismatic messengers of the zodiac.